On June 28, 2017, the Nanchang, the first of China's Type 055 destroyers, was launched into the Yangtze River from Shanghai. At first glance, it was simply another addition to a growing fleet. Yet this vessel carried far more significance than its sleek, gray exterior suggested. At more than 12,000 tons and equipped with advanced propulsion, radar, and weapon systems, it represented China's official entry into the elite circle of nations capable of building large, highly capable surface combatants. The Type 055 was not just another destroyer. It embodied the result of years of investment in research, engineering, and naval strategy. For the first time, China had produced a ship whose capabilities rivaled, and in some cases surpassed, the most advanced Western warships. The real surprise lay beneath its deck. At the heart of the Type 055 are 4 GT-25,000 gas turbines, each independently developed by Chinese engineers. Working in tandem, they generate a total of more than 100 megawatts, equal to about 145,000 horsepower. To put that into perspective, this is nearly twice the output of France's only nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. That comparison is striking. The Charles de Gaulle, with a displacement of 42,000 tons, relies on 2 nuclear reactors originally designed for submarines. The result is a total output of just over 76,000 horsepower. By contrast, the smaller Chinese destroyer, with a displacement of only 12,500 tons, produces nearly double that figure. For European audiences, this raises a sobering realization. A vessel classified as a destroyer, typically seen as secondary to aircraft carriers in naval power, can match or exceed the energy output of entire capital ships. Why does this matter? In modern naval warfare, speed and power translate into strategic advantage. The Type 055 can travel at more than 33 knots, over 60 kilometers per hour, despite its size. This allows it to maneuver quickly, seize launch positions for missile strikes, and provide protective cover for aircraft carriers or amphibious groups. In high-stakes naval engagements, even a small speed advantage can determine who strikes first. The Type 055's ability to surge ahead of its peers gives it the flexibility to act as both an offensive and defensive asset, something Western navies cannot ignore. The Type 055 is not just powerful, it is also a highly advanced electronic platform. Its Type 346B active phased array radar can detect targets over 400 kilometers away. Supplementary X-band and CL-band radars enhance its ability to track stealth aircraft and provide precise guidance for missiles. Altogether, more than a dozen radar arrays operate simultaneously, consuming as much energy as a small town. Without its massive power reserves, these advanced systems would not function at full capacity. But thanks to its integrated power grid, the Type 055 can operate its radars, communications, and weapons systems without compromise. One of the most concerning aspects of the Type 055 is its forward-looking design. Its medium-voltage direct current integrated power system is not just efficient, it is adaptable. This system lays the foundation for energy-intensive weapons of the future, such as electromagnetic railguns and high-energy lasers. The United States once planned similar capabilities for its Zumwalt-class destroyers, but budgetary and technical challenges forced the project to abandon its railgun program. China, however, has designed the Type 055 to accommodate such technology when it becomes operational. This means that the ship could eventually deploy weapons that are not just powerful but potentially game-changing. Measured against global counterparts, the Type 055 stands out dramatically. The U.S. Zumwalt-class destroyer generates roughly 105,000 horsepower, about 40,000 less than the Chinese ship. Britain's advanced Type 45 destroyer delivers only around 57,000 horsepower, barely a third of the Type 055's output. Even the U.S. Navy's workhorse, the Burke-class destroyer, produces about 100,000 horsepower, still significantly below China's newest warship. Perhaps most surprising is the comparison with Britain's Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers. At 65,000 tons, these carriers are more than 5 times heavier than the Type 055. Yet their total output of about 147,000 horsepower is almost identical to the Chinese destroyer. This creates an extraordinary picture. A warship classified as a destroyer carrying the power of a supercarrier. The rise of the Type 055 is not simply a matter of engineering achievement, it has real geopolitical implications. A ship with such firepower and flexibility gives China greater capacity to project influence far beyond its shores. Whether in the South China Sea, the Indian Ocean, or potentially further into the Pacific and even Atlantic waters, the presence of such vessels shifts the balance of naval power. For Europe, this is not a distant issue. Chinese warships have already made port visits to the Mediterranean and beyond, signaling Beijing's interest in global naval operations. The ability to field ships like the Type 055 means those visits could become more frequent and more strategically significant. For Australia, located at the crossroads of Pacific trade routes, the implications are equally pressing. The ability of Chinese destroyers to operate at extended ranges could affect maritime security and freedom of navigation in critical sea lanes. For the United States, the challenge is direct. Washington's naval dominance, long considered unmatched, is increasingly being tested by China's rapidly modernizing fleet. The Type 055, when deployed in numbers, strengthens Beijing's ability to operate carrier groups, amphibious forces, and independent strike missions. The Type 055 is not an isolated development. China is already advancing to newer ship classes, such as the Type 076 amphibious assault ship, which uses a powerful combination of gas turbines and diesel engines. These ships also employ integrated power systems designed for future weapons. Behind these innovations lies a deliberate strategy. Chinese naval engineers, supported by decades of research, have closed the technological gap with Western counterparts. While Europe and the United States debate funding, procurement, and industrial bottlenecks, China continues to launch advanced warships at a pace unmatched in modern times. The emergence of the Type 055 carries several lessons for Western nations. First, naval classifications are increasingly outdated. A destroyer today may carry the power and technology of yesterday's aircraft carriers. Second, technological foresight, such as preparing ships for future weapons, can dramatically extend their strategic value. Third, the pace of China's shipbuilding program demonstrates the importance of sustained investment and industrial capacity. The challenge for Europe, the United States, and allies like Australia is clear: adapting to a world in which China not only competes but in some cases surpasses Western naval power. Ignoring the significance of ships like the Type 055 risks underestimating Beijing's ability to project influence and reshape maritime security. The launch of the Nanchang in 2017 was more than a milestone for China's Navy. It signaled the beginning of a new era in naval competition. With each new vessel launched, China demonstrates not just technological progress, but also strategic intent. The Type 055 destroyer is a symbol of that intent. Its unmatched power, advanced radar systems, and preparation for next-generation weapons make it one of the most formidable warships afloat today. For the rest of the world, it is a reminder that the global balance of power at sea is shifting, and that shift has consequences far beyond the waters of East Asia.